On today's episode of Trek Wars, we'll be learning about the Federation Galaxy-class Deep Space Explorer. The Galaxy-class Enterprise D, also the most famous Federation starship. The starship's primary goal and primary missions was research, deep space exploration, and diplomatic duties. By 2340, Starfleet had come across some issues with its deep space exploration programs, which by this time were typically being held by the Excelsior class and the Ambassador class. The Excelsior class is an old design and had limitations due to its age and size. One of them being the crew became very stir-crazy because of the limited space and lack of families. But this particular starship is very fast. What it lacks in size, it makes up in speed. On the other hand, the Ambassador class is accommodating but very slow. The Ambassador class has benefited from more modern technology and far better offensive and defensive capabilities. The Ambassador class was the first Federation starship to begin using the new array systems of offense phaser technology. The Galaxy class project development started in 2343. The Federation wanted to design a ship that had all the luxuries of the Ambassador class, but wanted the speed of the Excelsior class. The Ambassador class design process had been a disaster for the Federation when it was first created. Major reason for this was the lack of preparation and testing of new technologies, because all the new technologies was just added immediately, and then it fixed it as the problems went on. This led to significant problems with the designing process of the Ambassador class itself. This led to the design itself almost being scrapped due to complications with the design and the new technologies. So the Galaxy project would be completely different. All the technology would be tested for some newer, smaller designs, and all the technology would be field tested before brought into the Galaxy project itself. In 2340, the New Orleans class would be created. The original design of the saucer section would also be used, more advanced phaser array systems, and the navigational deflector, as well as a brand new warp nacelle design. The Cheyenne class of 2345 would bring a new advanced multi-shot torpedo, as well as an advanced neck design to hold the new torpedo launcher and saucer separation abilities and reintegration. The Springfield class of 2352 would bring deep space sensors abilities, be noted as Class 4. The USS Challenger class in 2350 uses the new warp core amenities, holographic images, state-of-the-art medical facilities, family design quarters. It also brought the new prototype warp nacelle to full size. The Nebula class, the counterpart to the Galaxy class, had a final testing in 2253 of the multi-shot second generation torpedo launcher, as well as a state-of-the-art shield and Type 10 phaser array system. The Niagara class of 2336 through 2360 was a refit of the warp nacelle that was not running at full production of the Nebula class. That was preceded by the design at the same time as the Galaxy class. The reason for this is that the Niagara class was similar in mass and gave a similar profile that the Galaxy class would have. This was based off the Ambassador frame. More than 20 years of dedication went into designing the Galaxy class as the emphasis of Federation perfection. So the designing process of the Galaxy class is quite extraordinary. So many ship designs and components were perfected before they were integrated into one powerful perfection of a design, in my opinion. So the Springfield class, to give you guys an understanding, the Springfield class basically was not really putting a whole lot of technology into there. It was basically just the sensor module. Most of the designs that went into the Galaxy class actually came from the original New Orleans class. You know, you have the new phaser straps, you have the navigational deflector, you have the saucer section design, you even have the warp nacelles small versions, but yet the same. So then they decided that they wanted multi-shot torpedo technology. This is also really good for the probe technology. So this is where the Cheyenne came. So obviously they're designing the neck and then the actual launcher that is inside of the neck, and then the saucer separation and reintegration. Never been seen before up until this point. Then there's the amenities, the amenities, all the good stuff, all the holographic projections and holodecks and all these things that you want for the crew, all the extras, the bells and whistles, all the luxuries came from the Challenger class. So the Challenger class also is using a new warp core, which was larger than some of these other ships. It's basically around a small version of a Galaxy class. It was used for basically pulling around delegates and showing off Federation technology. Real roomy, real nice. Now, right before the Galaxy class was going to be launched, they had created some nebulas because that was being built at the same time. The nebula had the weapon systems that the Galaxy class was going to have, and it had the correct warp nacelles. So what ended up happening with those warp nacelles is they're not functioning at what was expected. So some tweaking was needed to be done, but the profile of the nebula didn't really work out for those tweaks. So that's why the Niagara class was built. The Niagara class is basically an ambassador class with new warp nacelles from the Galaxy project. And because they're similar profile, they were able to tweak those engines and get what the Galaxy class needed. So that is a full breakdown. I just wanted to go off script a little bit, go through, talk about that, and just kind of free talk about it rather than just reading the script, because I just thought it was a little more fun that way. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about the computer systems. The Galaxy class had one of the most advanced warp engines ever created. Warp drive is a LF-41 capable of cruising at warp 6, had a max speed of 9.2, an emergency speed of warp 9.6. To give you an understanding of how fast this is for a ship of its size, the Ambassador class was capable of only warp 5. It had a max speed of warp 7 and had an emergency speed of warp 9. Now, as advanced as the warp core is and the warp nacelles are, the sensor systems aboard the Galaxy class are literally state-of-the-art. The Galaxy class was capable of using a Class 4 sensor system. To give you an idea and understanding, the Ambassador class, the Excelsior class, and the USS Defiant, as far as most starships are concerned, are using Class 2. And very few specialized starships like the upgraded Constitution class would have a Class 3. The only ships in the fleet at this time that can compete with the Galaxy class Type 4 sensor system is its sister ship, the Nebula, with a specialized sensor pod capable of a Class 5 sensor system. The Galaxy class ship also had on board an isolinear based computer system. Most Federation starships at this time were still using dualtronic enhancer computer systems, making the Galaxy class computer power far beyond that of a standard Federation starship. Now, the Galaxy class shields are state-of-the-art and are the strongest aboard any Federation starship at this time, as well as its Type 10 phaser arrays are the strongest weapons Starfleet had ever developed. Most Federation starships at this time are using second-generation torpedo technology, but besides that, the Galaxy class is using specialized multi-shot torpedo technology, which was capable of firing not just one standard torpedo like most Federation starships, but up to 10. Most multi-shot technology during this time period would be limited to 3 to 5 shots. This means that the Galaxy class at warp speed had 10 times the firepower that most starships of its time period had. This meant in a combat situation that the Galaxy class could work as a command ship, communication ship, and well as a long-range artillery warship.
The state-of-the-art Galaxy-class phaser array system is significantly more advanced than the Ambassador-class phaser array system, which had gone from Type 7 all the way to Type 10. The phaser strips are far larger and cover better arcs than what the Ambassador had. The Galaxy-class phaser array system can cover 360-degree firing arcs. The system is also capable of firing several times more than the previous variants of the phaser array systems. This led to the Galaxy class being able to fire its very heavy-hitting phaser system almost 14 times, which could lead to around 910,000 points of damage, which is almost 4 to 5 times stronger than what was previously seen on other phaser array systems. The Galaxy class is equipped with 2 multi-shot torpedo launchers as well as 14 Type 10 phase arrays. The Galaxy class was the second most powerful starship after its release, only being overshadowed by the Nebula torpedo module variant. Now, civilian quarters were very important to the Galaxy class. The Galaxy class amenities included spacious rooms, holodecks, fully functional medical facilities, a fully functioning surgical center, and more cargo space than any of the other starships. The largest hangar bay, schools for children, gardens. The Galaxy class is designed as a miniaturized starbase. Now let's talk about some of the disadvantages. The only drawbacks the Galaxy class has is the fact that the structural integrity is not as strong as one would respect a ship with so much firepower to have. This is due to it not being designed for combat. The hull strength is only slightly stronger than that of the Excelsior class, though its overall hit points are almost twice due to its size. The warp core is fragile due to its enormous power output and is prone to warp core explosions if damaged. The only other notable weakness of this line of starships would be the fact that it is so advanced and very few shipyards are capable of constructing these vessels. They are extremely time consuming. Matter of fact, they are one of the most time consuming starships ever created by Starfleet. During the Dominion War, these starships acted as flagships. There were also Galaxy classes that were missing all of the amenities and were only constructed with combat in mind. These Galaxies had increased hull strength but lacked some of the facilities in the original variant. After the attack of the Borg, Galaxy class starships and Nebula class starships were rarely built, but they made way for new lines of more advanced combat-oriented starships based on some of the same technology. This would be the Akira class, Norway class, Sabre class, Steamrunner class. Shortly after this, the Sovereign took the place of the new flagship over the Galaxy class. Unfortunately for the Galaxy class, its time in the spotlight was very short-lived due to the invasion of the Borg. Starfleet changed and focused on more medium class sized starships and combat oriented. This led to the decommissioning of the Galaxy class project. Smaller, less capable starships would take its role, such as the Nova class and the Intrepid class. Alright, thank you guys for all you Trek War fans. Thank you so much. I'm sorry this video took so long. I'm doing an experiment where I was doing it on my computer instead of my phone. I'm kind of curious what you guys think of the format. Doing it this way allowed me to give you guys actual images that were coming from games that I've played and added them into the video. Do you like this format? Do you like my other format? And then just so you guys know, there was a messing up with the microphone in the very beginning, and then what you're hearing now is my normal microphone. So I know the first one sounded terrible. How does this one sound compared to what you guys are normally hearing? If you guys really don't like this and you want me to keep up with my phone, leave a comment. I'm curious what you guys think. Also, if you have any suggestions to improve Trek Wars, feel free to put them in the comments. I'm grateful for all the knowledge. You guys make the channel, and my gosh, if it wasn't for you guys, I don't know how many things I would get wrong on a daily basis. Thank you guys. And with that being said, Trek Wars, live long and prosper. Engage.
If you like this content, please subscribe and tell your friends. If you're a fan of Star Trek, make a comment. It makes a difference. With that being said, thank you all for watching Trek Wars.